Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Titleless Musings, and today I am moving away from K-pop journaling to do a journal with me in my personal journal. So this is my end of year journal. I've spoken about it a lot on the channel, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what an end of year journal is. I do have a video under my Musings on Journaling series if you're interested, but the brief kind of elevator pitch is an end of year journal is just literally cataloging the end of year. But for me, I like to include holidays and a lot of spreads. Like I'll do like a book wrap up this year since I've read like 63 books. So that's basically what an end of year journal is. And obviously we are now at the end of October. So I am doing my first holiday spread in this one, which is the Halloween spreads. So I'm starting out here with just making a pumpkin carving spread. This spread is very, very simple, and you won't really get to see much. I mean, you're going to get to see me obviously color in the lettering, and I add a bit of not a bit of washi tape, I meant a bit of construction paper that I used last year for Halloween. And that's because I haven't carved pumpkins yet, so I just wanted to have this spread ready so that as soon as I do, I can then print the photos, get this spread done with. But I figured since I was going to make it anyways, I might as well include it in a Halloween video. And then I'm just going to make my Halloween day of spread. So I'm not a big Halloween person. I am much more of a Christmas fan. I do a lot more for Christmas. But I do try and make, in my end of year journal, I make a lot of different holiday spreads. And I do kind of try and make them somewhat special. One of my favorites to do, I do a 12-page New Year's Eve spread, which maybe I'll film that this year and put that up. But I really like doing these holiday spreads. It's a nice way to kind of mark the daily entry as more than something, where it's just the date and the date in the day. So this one I'm using, I got holiday washi tape at the beginning of this year, so I'm using this Happy Halloween washi tape, and then I've just got like orange and black grid washi tape that I bought years ago, and I decided to put that on the other side. I am struggling with the washi tape. In case you couldn't tell, me and this washi tape, I had a bit of a hard time. By the time I was done with the washi tape, I was like, I don't want to put washi tape on anything ever again. The problem is, this end of year journal, I'm only on page, I think 95 by the end of October, but I've put a lot of stuff in this journal. So I had to get like toothpaste, for example, and it's like a specific brand, and I never remember what it's called, so I put the box in the journal, and now I can't close the pages properly. It's all a big first world problem. I don't know why I'm complaining about it, but that's why, if you're wondering why the left side page is having a hard time, that is why it's my own fault. So to commemorate this Halloween spread, obviously I've got my Halloween washi, and I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for a kind of design that would make it feel kind of festive for Halloween, but also wasn't, like, I didn't have any Halloween stickers, so I decided to use stencils that I got, I think 2 years ago. And they're just journaling stencils. I got them off Amazon a couple years back, and they had a pumpkin. So you may remember, if you watched my October journal with me, the one where we were setting up the soundtrack spreads, in that one I also used these pumpkin stencils, so I just used them again here. And originally I had this idea of just stacking the pumpkins in the two bottom corners, but I actually decided to go for all four corners. And then I'm just doing kind of colors that make me think of Halloween. So I always think of like purple and black, or like a dark green for like pumpkin stems. And then obviously orange. And then I thought I'd throw red in there as well. More of a kind of call to fall, I guess, than Halloween. But I thought that the red would look good there. So yeah, I don't usually share these kind of end of year journal daily spreads, I guess. For the most part in my end of year journal, my daily spreads are the same as throughout the year. I will just draw a seasonal color line across the top. This month I'm doing orange, but I did like yellow back in August, for example. But I'll just date the kind of entry, and then obviously I'll write on the page. But for holidays, I like to do special daily spreads where I kind of commemorate the fact that it is a holiday and I'm journaling on it. I spoke a little bit at the beginning of the video about my New Year's Eve spread. That one is my favorite to make. That is one where I'm usually, you don't have to start a new journal at the beginning of the year, but I didn't do it one time and that was the worst year of my life. So now I have superstitions, and I like to finish a journal on New Year's Eve so that the new year doesn't have kind of any of the old drama, I guess. So my New Year's Eve spread has always been quite a long spread because I'm trying to use up those final pages. Last year I did 12 written pages, and I usually will kind of Dutch door them, so it's not 12 A4 plus size pages. It's probably more like maybe 8, but it's still a lot of writing. And then on New Year's Eve, I like to write a paragraph every hour that I'm awake, because obviously I'm staying up later. I always watch watch the ball drop in New York. So I usually just will do a paragraph every hour, and it's just kind of a good, fun way to end the year. I don't remember how I came up with it. I can't remember if I saw somebody else do it or if I was just superstitious. But that is my favorite spread, and it kind of inspired these other holiday spreads where I commemorate the day, even though I'm still going to write. So like I said, for this one, very simple, just pumpkins. You can see I'm just coloring them in. My red Tombow is dying, so I did have to switch to a Crayola. I am still, by the way, if anybody has any recommendations for good red markers, I am always on the lookout, because the red always just stops working. And like I said before, like, I don't use it necessarily any more than any other color, so I don't know why it just doesn't like me. Anyways, yeah, I'm coloring in the pumpkins here, and then I'm going to write Happy Halloween in the middle of it, in the middle of the pages, sorry, not in the middle of the pumpkins. And I will just write around it. It's so fun. I was hoping that I would be at 100 pages before the end of October, because this journal is 250 pages, and I thought that if I got to page 100, it would give me kind of a good amount of space for both November and December, but then all of my year wrap-up spreads. I'm making this sound really complicated. I don't know why I do this to all of you. It's not that complicated, I promise. It's just more, I know that I want to make a lot of spreads this year. Like I said, I have been in a reading kick this year. I did like a bunch of library card signups over the summer for like library cards where I live, and I am loving it. I have read 63 books this year. That is a big increase from 4 last year. I feel like the people that like used to read all the time as kids and then became adults just don't have time to read anymore. That's how I feel about life. So I've really been prioritizing reading more. And I had a lot of 5-star books actually this year. It's been a pretty good year. But that's kind of why I think so far ahead with these journals, is because I know that I have a lot of spreads to make. I want to do a reading one. I may also do like a DNF graveyard for the year of books I didn't finish. I will obviously be posting things like my Apple Music replay, it's going to be a weird year, because I think Enhypen will still be my top listened to artist, but they will be competing against Renee Rapp this year. So, yeah, I'm excited to do those, and obviously I will post those videos as well, because I just think it can be fun. I like watching everybody else's Spotify Wrapped, so I will definitely be sharing my own. But we are now just adding the finishing touches. As I said, I'm just stenciling in the Happy Halloween here. I'm gonna add a sticker from one of those like quote sticker books. I can't remember when I got it. I think it was last year. But it says "Be Fearless," which I thought was good for, the ghouls and goblins time of the year. And then I just kind of trace underneath and then above the Happy Halloween part with green. It just reminds me where not to write so I don't get too close. But as I said, we are now coming up to the end of this video. If you did enjoy, please do remember to like and subscribe, as it does help the channel. I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.